Hi everyone and welcome to class. Welcome to your 90-minute Hot 26 practice. Let's get started. Bring yourself to standing on your feet. Heels and toes are side by side. And we'll start to get set up for the practice, thinking about engaging through the soles of the feet. You're thinking about finding your weight evenly distributed across all four corners of both soles of the feet. You're thinking about drawing up through the kneecaps and engaging the thigh muscles. So the sensation that we're after is not the legs jammed backwards towards the back of the room, but instead everything drawing up into the centre line. The glutes might squeeze a little bit, the low belly engages slightly, and you're looking to find your point of focus here as we begin our practice with 2 sets of pranayama breathing. Interlace all 10 fingers right up to the body, including the thumb. Draw the knuckles to the chin to the knuckles, and find that point of concentration. So the point of concentration that you're after is straight ahead of you. The chin isn't lifted up, the chin isn't dipping down towards the chest. You've got a nice level kind of eye line straight ahead. We're dropping into the body here, beginning to concentrate, to meditate. Starting the practice with an inhale breath. Your inhale is through the nose. The elbows start to move out and up. You're expanding through the sides of the waist as you lift the elbows towards the ceiling. At the top, you've got full lungs. Exhaling, the head tips back. You're looking at the ceiling. It's an H-A ha sound as you exhale the breath through the mouth, all the way to the end. Empty them. Inhale, chin down. Elbows up and out, elbows wide as they reach up for the ceiling, lengthen through the sides of the waist. Exhale, head tips back, but just the head tipping back. You're not leaning back into the breath. You're letting the head drop back, keeping everything else solid and firm. Your foundation is strong, no backward bending. Inhale, draw the chin down. Take the elbows up and out. Use that lift of the elbows to create more space in the body. Lengthen the sides of the waist. The belly draws in, the rib cage expands. Exhale, head tips back. An H-A sound of the breath as you're letting the breath out, but using the throat as a passageway. The head is tipped right back. Inhale, draw the chin down. Beautiful work. Chin comes down, elbows up and out. Lengthen sides of the waist, keeping chin level to the floor, not tucking the chin into the chest. Exhale, head tips back. Remember, just the head tipping back as the palms of the hands work their way towards one another. The wrists coming together, the forearms coming together, maybe even the elbows touch up and away from the chest. Inhale, draw the chin down. Keep the elbows high. Keep the elbows high as you bring the chin back to level with the floor. The elbows reach up and out. The belly draws in. Your foundation is strong. The rib cage is visible. Exhale, head tips back, mouth wide, eyes wide, all 10 fingers still interlaced. There's still good pressure between the knuckles and the chin. That's your point of contact. It's normal to feel the muscles of the neck working slightly. Inhale, draw the chin down, take the elbows up and out. Really think about expansion on your way up. Elbows reaching out for the sides of the room and then up towards the ceiling. Lengthen the sides of the waist. Exhale, head tips back, mouth wide. Eyes wide. So open the mouth really wide. You can get that full exhale, emptying the lungs completely with every single exhale breath, using it as an opportunity to totally reset. So you can inhale, chin down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. You've got 2 more breaths in this first set. We're going for 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale here, your final breath in the first set. Your longest, strongest, deepest breath of the day so far. Get to the top and then look for an extra sip of air to top up the lungs, fill the lungs completely. Exhale, the head tips back. It's your last chance in the first set to empty the lungs. Expel every last drop of stale air. So you keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling until you can't exhale anymore. The lungs are empty and you'll change. Bring the hands down by the sides. The breathing is steady, in through the nose, out through the nose, while we just reset here between our 2 rounds of pranayama breath. So doing your best to maintain focus in between these 2 sets. And it's really tricky. It's tricky in the hot room. It's maybe even trickier at home. And then we'll get set up, ready to go again. Find your footing, first of all. So completely reset right from the bottom. Feet engage with the floor, legs power up, low belly engages, glutes squeeze. You've got this firm foundation. Interlace all 10 fingers. Maybe switching the alternation of your fingers for your non-dominant grip, if that stuff is interesting to you. Bring the knuckles to the chin. Find your level chin, your point of focus. And when you're ready, your next inhale breath starts to draw the elbows up and out. The inhale breath comes through the nose. The inhale breath through the nose, the nostrils flare as you bring more oxygen, more breath into the body. The elbows reaching up, expanding up. Exhale, head tips back, mouth wide, eyes wide. Look for the ceiling. Use the throat as a passageway. Use the throat as a passageway to create that HA ha sound, that restricted, steady breath all the way to the end. Inhale, chin comes down. Chin down, breath in through the nose. Elbows up and out. The elbows reach up and out. Feel the ribs telescope away from the hips, making more space. Exhale, head tips back. Head tips back, mouth wide. Every single exhale breath is your opportunity to empty the lungs of every last drop of stale air. Inhale, chin comes down. Elbows stay high. So the elbows work up and out, lifted, drawing you up towards the ceiling, creating more space. Chin is level. Exhale, head tips back. As the head tips back, see if you can knit the fingers together a little stronger. The palms of the hands coming together. Eventually the wrists, maybe the forearms, maybe the elbows, finding a stretch in the shoulders. Inhale, chin down, elbows stay high. You work a full range of movement in that shoulder joint. The shoulder is drawing up and out. Elbows reach. Exhale, head tips back, shoulders pull round and forwards, getting a stretch in the space between the shoulders if you're really lifting the elbows up and away from the chest. Beautiful work. Inhale, draw the chin down, breath in through the nose. Nostrils flare, bringing in more air, more oxygen, more breath into the body. Elbows reach. Exhale, head tips back. Just the head, keep your foundation firm. So remind yourself, legs are engaged, belly's engaged. You've got this strong base, you can let the head drop back. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale your final breath here. Your longest, strongest, deepest breath of the day so far, of your week so far, all the way to the top, and then look for that extra sip of air. Fill the lungs right the way to the top. Exhale, head tips back, and it's your opportunity to really let go. Every last drop of stale air. Keep exhaling. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, right the way to the very end. And then you'll change. Hands coming down by the sides. Breath steady for the rest of the practice is in through the nose, out through the nose. If you find yourself breathing through the mouth, chances are you're going to start to over-breathe. It's going to leave you feeling hot, more easily fatigued, maybe a bit dizzy. So breath controlled through the nose the entire time. We make our way from here into our warm-up series, and there's no water in these first few postures. I'll let you know when we get to that first water break, and then you can drink water freely for the rest of the practice. We start with half moon and then hands to feet pose. Take a big inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Interlace all 10 fingers at the top, release the index fingers. So I'm going to call this a pistol grip. You've got the fingers interlaced, the index finger release. Thumbs are crossed over as well. Biceps coming beside the ears, the arms are locked out as best you can get them. Take an inhale to stretch up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, you can go. Start to bring the body down, right and left, moving the hips from side to side as you stretch the fingertips in the opposite direction. And this is the beginning of your practice. So feel your way into it. You don't have to rush here to your absolute maximum stretch, your maximum expression. You're feeling what's available in the body in these first few moments. When you feel like you've stretched equally on both sides, come back to the center. Take an inhale to zip up. And as you exhale, we'll go. Bring the fingertips over towards the right, the hips out towards the left as you move into your static half moon hold. And you are really pressing the hips out towards the left. See if you can think of these first moments as your opportunity to begin to refine the shape. So what we're looking for is 2 hip points straight ahead in the direction that you are looking in. Your right armpit spinning underneath the body slightly as you bring the chest up to level. The chin is away from the chest, giving you space to breathe. Your bottom arm is active against your top arm, lengthening the left arm up and over. You've got the weight evenly balanced in the feet. You're not pulling, you're not sticking the bum out. So you might think about pulling the belly in to engage a little bit more of the core. You're going to take a big inhale for length. And as you exhale, you'll come down and push. Change. Bring yourself back up to the top. Nice, steady breath. Glue the heels of the hands together if you're working like that. Take an inhale to zip up. Exhale, fingertips go over towards the left, hips press out towards the right, and you're really pushing the hips out towards the right. The more you press the hips out towards the right, the smoother a crescent moon shape is going to be. The smoother the crescent moon shape is going to be. If you hinge just from the waist and don't stick the hips out, you end up with a slightly angular shape. If you can lift up and over and push the hips out towards the right, you'll get a smooth curve all the way down the outside edge of the body, that smooth stretch from toes to fingertips, skin to bones, inside and outside, stretching through the body. Fingertips are lifting up and over, hips are straight ahead. You might roll the left armpit underneath the body slightly as you spin the chest. Take an inhale for length. Use your exhale to come down and push. Beautiful. Bring yourself back up to the top. Steady your breath. Firm up through your foundation, squeeze the glutes. Take an inhale breath, lift the fingertips and the chest towards the ceiling. As you exhale, let the head drop back. Let the head drop back, and from here you'll lift again. Fingertips and chest are lifting. As you exhale, you'll start to arch the body back as you squeeze the hips, legs and stomach forwards towards the front of the space. You're going to keep pressing through the glutes. Push the hips, legs and stomach forwards. That is acting as your counterbalance. That is where the strength in this posture comes from. That's the element that stops you from sagging right into your lower back. So the core's engaged. Push the hips forwards. Look back, arch back, way back, more back. Change. Bring yourself up to the top. Pull the belly in all the way to the top. At the top, you're going to put a bend in your knees and hinge at your hips as you bring the body down. A nice flat back all the way to the floor. Separate the hands and take your shimmy here. Bending right knee, then left knee, right knee, then left knee. Pedaling out the back of the leg. Looking to free up a bit of space down the back of the legs, across the back of the hips, lower back. When you feel like you've got to that, you might take a couple of deep knee bends if that suits you. But when you feel like you've got to that, we'll all put a deep knee bend in the knees and lay the belly down against the thighs. The belly's against the thighs, there's no room for light or air or space between the belly and the thighs. Reach back, scoop up your own heels from behind. All 5 fingers are included in the grip, which means your thumb sits beside your index finger. It's not wrapping around any other part of the foot. It sits beside the index finger. The elbows squeeze in back behind the calf muscles, and you'll use an inhale breath here to drop the crown of the head heavy towards the floor. As you exhale, you'll pull. Pull against the heels as you lift the hips up towards the ceiling, and your aim is to think about drawing the crown of the head down towards the floor. So here, you are looking for a place to safely stretch the spine, the back body. The hips are lifting towards the ceiling and there is a big stretch in the back of the legs, but see if you can activate the wrap of the elbows behind the calf muscles, that draw down on the heels, the crown of the head pulling towards the floor, and feel it all the way down the back of the body. Beautiful work. For the last chance here, you are going to pull and then we'll change. Release your grip. Pistol grip up and overhead, biceps beside the ears. You push the floor away as if you were on hydraulics. You'll bring yourself back up to stand with a flat back. Exhale, the arms come down by the sides. The breath is steady, in through the nose, out through the nose. As you know, if you practice with us at the studio, the second set is always just slightly shorter. And it's not shorter because we do any less, it's shorter because we know where we're going, so our entry to the shape can be a little bit more seamless. We can get right in, up against our edge, up against our limit, maybe a little bit quicker. So find yourself steady as we make our way into the second set of half moon, hands to feet. Take an inhale breath, bring the arms up and overhead. Interlace all 10 fingers, release the index fingers, glue the heels of the hands together. As best you can, looking for straight arms. If straight arms is a challenge because you've got tight shoulders, instead think about lengthening the sides of the waist. Grow a little taller. Inhale here. Exhale, we'll go straight into it. Fingertips over towards the right, hips over towards your left as you bring yourself up to where you left off in the first set. So this second set is your opportunity to really press up against your edge, up against that limit, but the whole time doing it from a center, from a kind of center of strength. So the body is drawing in towards the midline. You're pushing the left hip out towards the side. The right armpit spins underneath the body. The chin slightly lifted. You've got space to breathe. Adjust the hips again if you need to. 2 hip points facing directly in the direction you're looking. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, you're going to come down and push. Come down and push. Come down and push. Change. Bring yourself back up to the top. A nice steady breath. You'll inhale when you get to the top. Exhale, fingertips over towards your left, hips press out towards your right. Again, you're looking for that lovely smooth shape down the outside edge of the body. 2 hip points, straight ahead like headlamps, shining in the direction that you are looking. which might mean that you need to roll the right hip forwards in space a touch. The left armpit, spins underneath the body, lifting the chest. Imagine you want the light to hit both of your armpits equally at the same time. You're using the bottom arm against the top arm. As you inhale, you'll reach longer. As you exhale, you're going to come down and push, come down and push, come down and push. Change, bring yourself back up to the top. Nice steady breath. Making our way into the second back bend of our practice. Thinking about firming up our foundation first. Squeeze the glutes. Let the head drop back, take an inhale. Lift the fingertips and the chest towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, we'll go. Start to press the hips, legs and stomach forwards towards the front of the room. Keep the belly switched on. Keep the belly switched on so you're not just sagging into the most flexible part of the lower back. You've got your core engaged, you've got your glutes really powerfully pushing the hips towards the front of the room. You are looking back and diving back. Feel the chest peel open as you look back. Way back, more back, all the way back. Change. Pull the belly in as you bring yourself to the top. So you're not cranking up out of your lower back. The belly does that work. Your choice about whether you go down over straight legs or bent knees, but you'll bring yourself down with a flat back until the fingertips find the floor. If you want to take your shimmy, you're welcome to do so, just if that helps you to find your grip. It might be worth considering. And then when you're ready, it's a deep bend in the knees, lay the belly down against the thighs. Reach back and find your grip. So we're looking for all 5 fingers nestled underneath the heel of the foot resting in the palm of the hand. If that's not available, remember, you can absolutely work at the ankles, the backs, the shins, but the thumb is beside the index finger. Elbows wrap in behind the calf muscles. Inhale, drop the crown of the head down towards the floor, and as you exhale, pull against the heels. Pull against the heels as you lift the hips up towards the ceiling. I'm going to give you one of my favourite analogies here. Imagine there is a lead weight tied to the crown of the head, dragging you down towards the floor. Imagine you are wearing a belt that is attached to a hot air balloon. The hot air balloon is dragging you up towards the ceiling, and the two are working in opposite forces. You're going to pull against the heels. Feel the crown of the head drag down towards the floor. Your last chance here is you draw down, and then you'll change. Release your grip. Bring the arms back beside the ears. Find your pistol grip. Push the floor away. Rise to stand. Exhale. Arms come down by the sides. Breath steady. Breath is in through the nose, out through the nose, nice and controlled. From here, we make our way into Utkatasana, our awkward series, working in 3 versions of chair pose. Step your right foot out to the right, 6 inches. And if you're not working directly in front of the mirror, that is really hard to judge. So use this little cue of your own fists, 2 of your own fists, side by side, will give you the perfect alignment between the balls and the heels of your feet. The feet point straight ahead like the outside edges of a capital letter H. And once you've got the feet positioned, inhale the fingertips up to parallel with the floor. So you've got zombie arms, but nothing is loose, nothing is hanging. If you struggle to find that engagement in the tricep muscle, imagine that you're trying to press something down. So an imaginary jack in the box, you're trying to force back down into the box. Tricep muscles engaged, that's what you're after. Keep that switched on. Take an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, sit the bum back and down, sit low. Sit right out into that comfortable chair, sticking the bum out to the back of the room. Stick the bum out to the back of the room, have a quick glance down. Check that you can see your big toes. If you can't see your big toes because your knees are in the way, that's a sign that you need to shift your bum back in space. You need to pull the belly in, roll the shoulders away from the ears, lean back, shoulders away from the ears. As you lean back, we're looking for the sensation, total spine backwards bending as you sit low, lean back, change, rise all the way up to the top. Beautiful. Keep the arms where they are, keep on rising. Climb high onto the big toes. High up onto the big toes, pressing the ankle joint out towards the front of the room. Take an inhale to grow tall. Exhale.
I've got to eagle, Alex.
Slide your way down that wall. Slide your way down the imaginary wall, keeping the back perfectly flat. There we have it. Eagle comes after chair. We'll get to eagle, I promise you. Slide the back down that imaginary wall, pulling the belly in. Pull the belly in, pressing into that imaginary wall, the sensation of the knees lift up and forwards, and then we'll change. Rise your way back to the top. Bring yourself back up onto the tips of the toes. Lower the heels down at the last moment. Pick up the heels just a touch. Squeeze the knees together. Zip the knees together. Take a big inhale breath, lifting through the chest. And as you exhale, you'll start to draw the body down, that imaginary wall that is right behind you. Shoulders pressed against the imaginary wall, belly drawing in, lowering through the knees reach forwards and down. When you get to the bottom, there might be a sort of couple of inches between the hips and the heels, or you might be higher up. But see if you can find that re-engagement between the knees. Squeeze the knees together, and then you'll change. Rise back to the top, using that pressure between the knees. Perfect, really, really nice at the top. You're gonna separate the feet, bring the feet back together, arms down by the sides. Breath is steady, in through the nose, out through the nose, nice and controlled. Lovely. So we move into our second set of awkward, finding that kind of power, that shake in the legs maybe in this second set. Step the right foot back into that imprint that you've got on the mat. If there's no imprint and you want to check on it, there is absolutely no harm in coming back in with your two fists one more time to check that you've got 6 inches between the feet. Inhale, fingertips are rising up and you're finding that press down to engage through the tricep muscles. See if you can relax the back of the neck. Take an inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, you're sitting down. Flat feet, you sit the bum right back behind you. You're drawing the belly in right from the start. You're imagining pulling the belly up and away from the top of the thighs. You're going to roll the shoulders away from the ears as you begin to lean back. The gaze is out straight in front of you. You're not looking down, you're not looking up. You're sending the gaze straight out in the direction of those fingertips. Total spine backwards, bending here as you sit low. Draw the belly in, lean back, change, rise to the top. Pick up the heels, come up high on the tiptoes, and you'll feel the leg muscles engage all the way up through to the hips. Engage that kind of sucking into the center line. Use your inhale to lift the chest, and as you exhale, you'll start to lower. Sensation here is that the knees reach up and forwards, as if the knees were trying to reach up to meet the palms of your hands. The belly is drawing in, the shoulders are flat against that imaginary wall, and then you'll change. You'll rise up with control, lower the heels at the last moment. Beautiful work. Pick up the heels just a bit, enough for you to squeeze the knees together. So the knees knock in towards one another, and that contraction between the thighs is what will help to keep you stable. So take an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, slide. Sliding down an imaginary wall, and the temptation really is to stick the bum out and let the body lean forwards. But see if you can press the shoulders back against that imaginary wall, pull the belly in. Lower your weight all the way down to the bottom. When you get to your lowest point, whatever that might look like, see if you can find that connection between the knees one more time, zip them together, lift up an inch and hold it. Beautiful. Keep the knees hugging in as you change. Rise to the top. Separate the knees, step the feet back together, arms down by the sides, breath steady. In through the nose, out through the nose. The final shape in our warm-up series is eagle. So we move into eagle here, 2 sets of eagles strong together, so no break in between the two. Got a little wrinkle here that I can't balance on, so we need to move that out of the way. Heels and toes are side by side. You'll inhale, the arms up and overhead. Exhale, it's the right arm swinging underneath the left arm. Hook the elbows. And once you've got a hook of the elbows, you'll find your appropriate bind. It might be catching the shoulders, catching opposite thumb, or bringing the palms of the hands together. Whatever works for you. Take an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, sit down. And as you sit down, imagine the elbows are dragged down towards the floor as well. The fingertips might come below the level of the nose. Anchor down through your left foot, lift your right toes up and over. The back of the right thigh comes up and over the front of the left thigh. And if you've got the space, maybe you're going to be able to tuck those right toes in behind the left calf muscle. If there isn't space to do that, the toes point straight down towards the floor, as if one day they will just hug in behind. Wherever you are with these binds, whichever of these binds feels best for you at this point today, you're going to think about squeezing them, activating and engaging them. Sit the bum down as you squeeze the thighs into one another. Find that squeeze in the elbows, drawing the backs of the shoulders away from one another. Sit down low, lean back. Change, untangle the legs, untangle the arms. Inhale the arms overhead. Here we go, second side. Left arm, swings underneath right arm. Left arm underneath right arm, palms of the hands are together. Shoulders are away from the ears. Take an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, sit down. Draw yourself back down into that comfortable seat. The right foot anchors down into the floor. The left leg is lifting up and over. And as the left leg comes up and over, make really good contact as high up the leg as you're able to. And then maybe from there, you can wind up the feet one more time if you're going in for the final bind. If you're not, remember toes just pointing down towards the floor. That foot is as active as you can get it. Sit low. Think about engaging through the binds that you have. And if you're thinking about squeezing into the binds that you do have, they will naturally draw more into the center line. Sit down, lean back. Change, untangle the legs, untangle the arms. Inhale the arms overhead. Remember, we go straight into second set. So second set, first side is right arm swinging under left. Right arm swings underneath left. Find the bind that works for you. Palms of the hands, catch the thumb or opposite shoulders. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to sit down. Sit back and down into that comfortable chair. Remember, so try not to let knees hang forwards. You're sitting back. Anchor the body weight back, leave it there. Right toes get light and right leg is going to lift up and over the left. Cross at the thigh as high as you possibly can. And then if you've got the space to do so, maybe you're going to tuck the toes in and back behind the left calf muscle. Wherever you are, you're going to think about engaging through these binds, sitting the bum back and down, leaning the upper body back as if you were lifting through the elbows. You'll sit low, lean back, sit low, lean back, change. Untangle the legs, untangle the arms. Inhale the arms overhead. We go straight in second set, second side. Is left arm swinging underneath right. Hook up through the elbows, bring the palms of the hands together or find your bind. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to sit the bum down. Sit low into it. Feel that sensation of the body weight drawing back. Right foot anchors into the floor, left leg lifts up and over. Left leg lifting high. It's a slow, controlled movement, but it is quite a big movement. And you're sitting the bum down. You're thinking about squeezing the binds that you do have, engaging through the center line, sit low, lean back, lean the upper body back as you sit the bum down. And then you'll change. Untangle the legs, untangle the arms. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, the arms are coming down by the sides. Breath steady. Feel free now, if you want to grab a drink of water, you're absolutely welcome to. So this is our first water break, our first and only official water break. From now on, you're welcome to drink during the practice as much as makes sense for you. But remember, even though we're not in the hot room, some of those compression shapes can feel quite full on if you are drinking big gulps of water in between. So go small sips and steady. We'll make our way into our standing balancing series, starting with standing head to knee. So you'll find yourself in the middle of the mat with the heels and toes together. We'll be there, feet together, firmly planted. Anchoring down through the left leg. Firm up the left leg, feel the sensation of the kneecap drawing up into the thigh. The right knee lifting up in line with the right hip and immediately engaging. So straight away, as soon as the right leg lifts, it's not a dead weight. You're not lifting and having to carry it. That's going to make it really heavy. You're lifting it and it is active. It is powerful. The belly is drawing in, the hip flexor is engaged. The quadricep is engaged and the toes are flexing hard back towards your face. Your standing leg is rock solid, but the kneecap isn't jamming towards the back of the room. It is lifting up, as if all of the muscles in that leg were hugging in towards the bone in the center. Find yourself steady here. And if you want to, you're welcome to move on. You're rounding down if you're moving on, interlacing all 10 fingers underneath the sole of the foot. Wherever you are in this posture, your priority is the standing leg. So even if you've gone for the grip, just make sure that the standing leg is still rock solid. There's no wobble, there's no bend. If you're staying in the first part, you're building strength. If you've gone for the grip, make sure you've got it. And if you want to, you're welcome to drive out. Kick out through the right heel. Push the right heel out towards the front of the room as if you were kicking the heel out to touch something way out in front of the front of your mat. Kick out through the right heel and maybe you'll start to draw the elbows down either side of that front calf muscle, but your priority is strengthen the standing leg. Can you draw the kneecap of that standing leg up a little higher? Can you hug the muscles in towards the bone? And then we'll change. Release the right sole of the foot gently to the floor, coming back through every stage of the posture you went in through. You find yourself back on 2 feet. You notice that the lifted leg is as fatigued as the standing leg because they are both active. And then we'll pull the body weight into the right leg. Concrete the foot into the floor. Feel the left kneecap lift, the left leg immediately switches on. Quadricep, toes, flex hard towards your face. You might even think about squeezing the glutes slightly to stand up a little taller. Your right leg is rock solid, but it's not jammed out. There is no kind of tension or pain around the kneecap. The sensation instead is that all the muscles are drawing up in towards the center line as if the foot was pressing the floor away. From there, if you want to, you're welcome to move on. Pull the belly in, round down. If you're rounding down, I find that kind of sensation of drawing the belly away from the thigh gives you a little bit more space. You'll interlace all 10 fingers underneath the sole of the foot. If you've gone for the grip, go back and check that your standing leg is still rock solid. It doesn't wobble, it doesn't bend. And if it doesn't, maybe you start to draw the elbows down. either side of the front calf muscle. Remember, wherever you are, you're prioritizing strength. So you're not moving on at the risk of compromising and bending through the standing leg, because you lose all opportunity to build strength there. Elbows draw down, and then we'll change. Bring the sole of the left foot back to the floor, coming out through every stage of the posture you went in through. Our second set is exactly the same, but it gives us the opportunity to challenge ourselves slightly. So if you never go for the grip, see how it feels to just start heading in that direction. You can always come back. So even if you wobble and fall out, you can always come back. Left foot anchors down. Firm up through the left foot. Bring the right knee up in line with the right hip. The right toes are flexed hard towards your face. The low belly draws in, so you're not sticking the bum out, not letting the body hinge forwards, you're standing up tall. From here, if you've got it, you're welcome to round down, find the grip. All 10 fingers interlace underneath the sole of the right foot. And if you've gone for the grip and it's your first time in doing that, just be a little bit aware. What you're looking for here is to find a stirrup grip that if you took it away, the leg wouldn't move. So you're finding a stirrup grip where you're not dropping all your body weight straight into the grip. And if you wobble and need to come out, you come out, no problem. Once you've got the grip, if you're moving on, check the standing leg is rock solid and you might kick out. Drive out through the right heel. Push the right heel out towards the front of the ring. Once the kicking leg is straight, parallel to the floor, no higher, no lower, you might start to bring the elbows down, either side of the front calf muscle, pulling the belly up and away from the thigh. You're looking for the sensation that you're hollowing out through the front of the body. Maybe you can tuck the chin and round in, bringing forehead to knee. And then we'll change. Gently release the right sole of the foot to the floor. You come back through every stage of the posture you went in through with total control. Find yourself steady. Anchor down through your right foot. Lift your left knee up in line with your left hip. Left toes are flexed hard towards your face. So you're immediately looking for that activation through the standing leg and through the lifted leg. Steady yourself here, and maybe you're in for the challenge, you're going for the grip. You can test it out. Even if it didn't work on the other side, try it here. Who knows, this might be your stronger side. Pull the belly in, round down, interlacing all 10 fingers underneath the sole of the foot. And remember that if you're going for that grip, you're looking for a grip that if you were to take it away, you wouldn't fall over. So it is a strong grip, but you're not dumping the body weight into it. If you've got the grip and it feels steady, you're welcome to move on, driving out through the left heel. Kick the left heel out towards the front of the room as if you were kicking to touch something way over on the far side of your mat. Maybe from there you start to draw the elbows down. Either side of the front calf muscle, pull the belly in, rounding in. Maybe you can tuck the chin as you hollow the body. Maybe you're going to touch the forehead to the knee. And then we'll change. Bring ourselves back. Left sole of the foot finds the floor. Steady yourself here. So from here, into the more expressive cardiovascular shapes of our standing series, starting with standing bow pulling pose. I'm going to come a little closer, just because in this first one, we're thinking about setup of standing bow. So you'll find yourself steady. You'll bring the right elbow into the right sideways, the right palm of the hand faces the ceiling. And dropping the right hand down, you'll pick up the inside of the right ankle. The middle finger is roughly in line with the bony part of the ankle. All 5 fingers are together. From that position, you're going to zip the knees together and just start to make some subtle adjustments in the body. Begin by letting the right shoulder roll back in space. Squeeze the glutes to find the beginnings of that back bend, pressing the hips forwards in space. Take a big inhale, lift the left arm high. The left palm of the hand faces out towards the front of the room as if you're reaching up to give somebody a high five. You'll use another inhale to lengthen to grow taller, and as you exhale, you're going to kick. You're going to begin to drive the foot back into the hand and keep the body upright for as long as you possibly can. The standing leg is rock solid. You're kicking back into the hand, feeling the right shoulder roll back in space. The arm open, the chest open. Keep driving up and back through the kick. And when you feel like you could not possibly kick anymore, that's the sign you need to start to bring the body down. And as you bring the body down, imagine you're reaching up and over to bring the body down. You're starting to tip at the standing hip. The left fingertips reach directly out in front of you. Your gaze travels along that arm. Your chest is coming down, but you've still got the kick fired up. You've got the right shoulder drawing back in space the entire time. You can feel the shoulder pulled back in space by the power of that kick. Reach out through the left fingertips. You're coming into your last few breaths. So if you're falling out, come back and join us. Final moments of glory here as you kick and reach, kick and reach. Change. Bring yourself back with grace, with care. Back to the middle of the mat. Breath steady. Very nice. We'll do exactly the same on the left. I'll show you it from back here. Left elbow in at the side raise, left palm of the hand facing the ceiling. You're going to drop the hand down and pick up the inside of the left ankle. Middle finger roughly in line with the bony part of the ankle. The reason that we are fussy about that is so that you kick against the strongest part of the hand. So you're going to kick back against the heel of the hand across the palm, giving you a real strong grip. There's no chance that grip is going to slip and you're going to go fly. All 5 fingers together. Zip the knees together, squeeze the glutes. Push the hips towards the front of the room. Big inhale, right arm high. Lengthen on the right side, grow taller as if you're reaching up for that high 5. And from here, keeping the body upright for as long as you possibly can, you'll begin to kick. Drive the left foot back into the left hand. Feel the left shoulder dragged back in space. And when you feel like you couldn't possibly kick any harder, imagine you're reaching up and over as you bring yourself down. As you pivot the standing hip, you keep reaching. Right fingertips out towards the front of the room. Your gaze is out along that arm. Imagine you're trying to connect your chin to your shoulder. Your standing leg is rock solid. You're driving the left toes up and back, feeling the left shoulder dragged back in space. It is a big, powerful kick, as if you were trying to stretch the body backwards towards the back of the room. You're coming into your final few moments here. You are going to kick and reach, kick and reach. Beautiful change. Really lovely work. Bring yourself back to steady, standing on 2 feet, heels and toes together. Maybe a breath here. And then we go in for our second set. Second set is an opportunity for us to really give it everything, to get right up against that limit, to really push. It doesn't matter if you fall out, you come back in as many times as you fall out. So right hand out to the side, palm of the hand facing the ceiling. You'll catch up the inside of the right foot. Middle finger roughly in line. Squeeze the knees together, squeeze the glutes. Push the hips towards the front of the room. Take a big inhale, left arm high. Lengthen on the left side, grow taller. And as you exhale, charge the body forwards. Drive the body forwards. Reach those fingertips out towards the front of the room. Send the right toes up and back. It is a big, powerful, explosive movement that you are then going to try and catch and hold. The standing leg is rock solid. You are shooting left fingertips forwards out towards the front of the room as if laser beams were shining out the front of your fingers. Drive the right toes up and back. Kick and reach. Change. Bring yourself back with care. Back to the middle of the mat. So those short, sharp, slightly more explosive versions of these shapes just give you an opportunity to see how it feels to really go for it, uninhibited. Not feeling like you're going to have to hold it for another 30 seconds. Just see how far you can get into it. Left hand out to the side. Left palm of the hand faces the ceiling, catching up the inside of the left ankle. Zip the knees together. Find that tuck under of the tailbone, that squeeze forwards of the hips. Big inhale, right arm high. Lengthen on your right side, go taller. Express through the right fingertips. Lift through the chest, and as you exhale, charge. Charge the body forwards. Drive the left toes up and back. Feel the left shoulder wrapping back in space as the right fingertips shoot out towards the front of the room. Laser beams through your fingertips, shining forwards as you drive the toes up and back. Big, powerful kick and reach. Change. Bring yourself back with care, with grace. Beautiful work, really nice. I feel like sometimes you push right up against that limit and surprise yourself and think, oh, I can stay here, this is exciting. Find yourself steady and we'll step to the back of the mat. Heels and toes together. We're making our way into standing stick. Tula Dandasana, our 10-second blink and you miss it posture. All heels and toes are together. You're finding yourself steady. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Interlacing all 10 fingers at the top, release the index fingers. Lock out through the arms as best you can. If you struggle to lock out through the elbows, tight shoulders, go back in with that idea of length. Strengthen up through the sides of the waist. Inhale here. Exhale the right foot, big step. Land the right foot, lift the left toes. You're confident. Lengthen fingertips and toes away from one another and hinge. Get the body down and the leg up. You're a capital T from the side. A capital T for just 10 seconds. A capital T for you're doing terrific. You're going to hold it here for 2, 1, change. Step to the back of the mat. Arms stay with the ears. We keep that challenge switched on for the heart. Take an inhale breath to zip up. Exhale, left foot, big step, land it, confident. Right toes immediately up and away from the floor so you can stretch. Fingertips and toes away from one another. You'll hinge. Get the body down and the leg up. The body down, the leg up, the body down, the leg up. Everything from fingertips to toes, spirit level, straight, and then you'll change. Step to the back of the mat with control. This time, exhale the arms down by the sides. Let the breath be steady. In through the nose, out through the nose. Second set is exactly the same, no shorter, So we work exactly the same shape, exactly the same, full recruitment of every muscle in the body. Inhale, the arms overhead. Stretching out, interlacing all 10 fingers. You'll exhale to step out onto the right foot, lift the left toes. Lengthen the body here, fingertips away from the toes, and hinge. Get the body down and the leg up. If you struggle with this from a balance point of view, forget about balancing and think about stretching. Think about stretching the fingertips forward, stretching the toes back. Change, step to the back of the mat with control. Arms go with the ears, you reset. Exhale, big step, left foot out in front, right toes lift. Lengthen, fingertips and toes away from one another, and hinge. Get the body down and the leg up. Get the chest down and the leg up. Imagine you are a human tug of war, and I am dragging the fingertips towards the front of the room and pulling the toes towards the back of the room, and then you'll change. Step to the back of the mat. Exhaling, the arms come down by the sides. The breathing is steady. In through the nose, out through the nose. The next posture is designed to bring the heart rate down, to give you an opportunity to catch your breath before we make our way to the master posture of the standing series. So I'm going to be stepping out with my right foot. If the way you are set up means that you need to do it differently, that is totally fine by me. I will talk, though, through stepping out with my right foot, which means you want to be on the left-hand side of your mat, taking that quarter turn so you're facing the long edge of your mat. Inhale, the arms up and overhead. Exhale, it's a massive step out towards the right that you'll land quietly by bending into the right knee. Your toes point straight ahead, or they turn slightly in towards one another. If you're working with any kind of lower back nerve pain, anything like sciatica, you keep the toes pointed straight ahead. Inhale, you'll expand across the chest. Exhale, and you're going to hinge at the hips as you look forwards. As you look forwards, you're stretching the body down. You're going to look forwards, look forwards, look forwards, look forwards, until you could not possibly look forwards anymore, and then you'll slide the hands down the backs of the legs. Catching hold of the appropriate place for you on the back of the leg. And I say appropriate, lots of you will have seen this demonstration before, but I say appropriate because what I'm interested in is a long, straight spine. And if I reach down and grab something that I'm not ready to grab yet, all that's going to happen is I'll round my back. So I'd much rather you held on to a place that made sense in your body, could keep you with a long, flat back, focused on rolling body weight forwards into the toes and stretching the forehead down towards the floor. One day, the forehead is going to lightly kiss down on the mat underneath you. So keep tipping the body weight forwards, keep drawing the belly away from the thighs, lengthening the hips up towards the ceiling as the forehead makes its way down towards the floor. And then we'll change. Pull the belly in, fly the arms out wide, rise back up exactly the way you came in. From here, it's a bend in your right knee to step your right foot to your left. And an exhale to bring the arms down by the sides. The breathing is steady, in through the nose, out through the nose. Inhale, the arms overhead. We go into second set, exactly the same. Big step out to the right. Land it quietly, adjust your footing if you need to. Expand through the fingertips, inhale. And as you exhale, you'll bring yourself down. You're going to look forwards, but I'd like you to imagine as if you were trying to reach out to touch the walls on either side of the room as you come down. So you're really expanding across the chest. Find your appropriate grip, forehead stretching down towards the mat, lengthening through the back body. Draw the body down as if one day that forehead was just going to brush the floor in between the feet. So you're tipping at the hips are lifting high, the belly draws away from the thighs. You rock more body weight forwards into your toes and maybe the forehead could lightly kiss down. And then you'll change. Pull the belly in, fly the arms out wide, rise back up to where you started with care. Bend in your right knee, bring right foot to left, arms overhead. Exhale, arms down by the sides. Breathing under control. From here, we make our way into the master posture of our standing series, which is triangle. Triangle is a posture that we build on strength, layers and layers and layers of strength. So it might feel as though we work our way into, particularly the first one, slowly, but what we're doing is strengthening at every stage so that our full expression can be on a really firm foundation. Inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, right foot steps out to the right, big step, land it quietly. This time the right toes turn to face towards the short edge of your mat over on your right. You can have a little look down at them. You want the outside edge of the right foot, little toe side, to be parallel to the outside edge of your mat. You can line it up with the outside edge of the mat. If that feels tricky, you can shuffle your feet in that direction. Take an inhale breath here. Exhale, you'll bounce down into that front knee 1, 2, 3 times. And as you bounce down, what you're looking for is your front knee to stack over your ankle. And if it overshoots, adjust your step. There's no point in bouncing if you still come down and overshoot the knee. So adjust your stance until it feels like you can drop the hips down evenly straight into the gap between the feet, and the knee can stack over the ankle. The fingertips are energized. You're strengthening up the back leg. See if you can firm up the outside edge of the back leg, squeeze your left glute, flip the palms, and go for it. Bring the right elbow onto the inside of the right knee. And as you do that, you're looking to keep the straight line from your left armpit to your left toe, which means you don't want to break the straight line by letting the hips lift. So you're going to keep the hips sitting down and forwards, knee stacked over ankle. You might look up at the left fingertips and see how active that left hand is. The bottom hand has no weight running through it, slashing down through the air. You're not leaning against the knee. You're using the elbow against the knee to encourage the knee back in space. You're going to take an inhale breath here. An exhale breath here. And then you'll change. Pull the belly in and rise your way up. Push your way out of your lunge, turn the right toes in. Turn the left toes out. Have a quick glance down at your left foot. Check the left little toe side is parallel to the outside edge of your mat. Take an inhale breath to expand. Exhale, you'll bounce down. And remember, you can adjust your stance, even if it feels like you don't need to because you did it on the other side. If something doesn't feel off, adjust your feet. Adjust your feet until the knee stacks directly over the ankle, the front shin is a straight line. You can look down at it and check that's happening. Hips drop into the space between the feet. Expand through the fingertips, flip the palms and go for it. Bring the left elbow onto the inside of the left knee, and as the arms come down, don't let the hips rise up. So try to keep everything in the lower body completely still as you bring the arms into position. You're stretching fingertips away from one another as if you were trying to broaden the collarbones away from one another on the center of the chest. There's no weight through the left arm. It slashes through the air. It's actually reaching for the space between your big and second toe. And if you take a quick glance down, you can check that that is happening. Look up at the right hand. See the right fingertips stretching towards the ceiling, not the back of the room, towards the ceiling. Arms are like 6 and 12 on a clock. Take an inhale breath here. An exhale breath here. And then you'll change. Pull the belly in and rise back. Push your way out of your lunge. Turn the left toes in. Bend the right knee. Bring right foot to left. Arms overhead. Exhale, the arms come down by the sides. Breathing is steady and under control. From here, we make our way into second set. Second set's exactly the same, but our entry is just a little bit smoother. We know where we're going. Take an inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, big step out to the right, landing it quietly. And immediately you can turn those right toes to point towards the front of the mat. You might look down and check they're in the right position. Take an inhale breath here. Exhaling, maybe you can sit down just the once into that front knee and find your perfect stance. Maybe you need to adjust, it's up to you. Firm up your back leg, flip the palms and go for it. Right elbow onto the inside of the right knee. You're expanding up and out, and if you are somebody who finds that the top shoulder in this posture in particular tends to pinch or feel uncomfortable, chances are you're quite bendy and you're letting the arm, I'm exaggerating here, but you're letting the arm hang back into its full range of movement. See if instead of letting the arm hang back, as I am exaggeratedly showing you, you can reach up towards the ceiling. Much more power and strength in this posture than flexibility. You are firing left fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then we'll change. Pull the belly in and rise up. Turn the right toes in. Turn the left toes out. Take a big inhale to expand. Exhale to bounce down into that front knee. Maybe just once. Maybe you need a couple of bounces and you want to adjust. Firm up your back leg. Squeeze your right glute. Flip the palms and go for it. Arms into position. Nothing in the lower body changes. Remember, top shoulder. If top shoulder pinches, reach up for the ceiling more, as if you're trying to stretch the shoulders apart from one another on the back body. No weight through your left hand, but your left elbow can nudge the left knee back in space just a touch. Nice. And then we'll change. Pull the belly in and rise up, turning in the left toes. You'll bend the right knee, bring right foot to left, arms overhead. Exhale, arms coming down by the sides, breathing is under control. From here, we make our way into our standing separate leg, head to knee, our compression pose. So find yourself steady on 2 feet, take an inhale breath, bring the arms overhead. The palms of the hands touch. I have to bring them down to show you. The palms of the hands touch, and you can cross the thumbs, glue the palms of the hands together. You're not interlacing the fingers. Resist the temptation to do that, even though the temptation is strong. The heels of the hands pressed together, the arms are as straight as you can get them. Step right foot out to the right, a slightly smaller step. Something like maybe 1 meter, 3 foot between the feet. Pick up the toes, spin on the heels, bringing yourself to face the short edge of your mat towards your right. And you want to bring the left hip around so it matches up with the right. You've got 2 hips shining like headlamps towards the short end of your mat. But if that's tricky, you're bouncing the hip around, squeezing the left glute, encouraging it to point forwards. If there doesn't seem to be space for that to happen, take your right foot across slightly. About the width of one of your own feet will give you a bit more room. You'll be able to bring the hips to square. Take an inhale breath, lift up. Exhale, look at your own belly button as you tuck the chin and round in. You are looking for that throat choke sensation right from the very beginning of this shape as you articulate your whole spine to roll through the back body and bring yourself down until the forehead touches the knee. And to get that to happen, you're probably going to need to bend the front knee. Bend the front knee as much as you need to get the forehead in contact with the knee. The hands are palms pressed together, fingertips stretched out in front, or separated on your fingertips to help with your balance, whichever feels like a more appropriate fit for you. The forehead pushes against the knee, driving the knee back in space. You really work that throat choke sensation. So it's small sips of air, in through the nose, out through the nose. And then we'll change, pulling the belly in and rising back up exactly the way you went down, no twisting on your way to the top. Pick up the toes, turn on the heels to face the front. Pick up the toes, turn on the heels to face out towards the side. And this time it's the right hip you want to bring around. So you might bounce the hips a few times to bring the right hip until it shines straight ahead. Or if you adjusted your feet last time, you'll definitely need to adjust them this time. Your left foot goes slightly over to the side. Take an inhale, expand up. Exhale, tuck the chin round in. Roll your way down over the front leg. Look at the belly button. If you're looking at the knee, you're going to overshoot the knee by about 1 mile. Look for the belly button. Roll your way down. Trust that the knee still exists even when you can't see it. Bend the front knee. Bend the front knee as much as you need to get the forehead and the knee in contact with one another. That throat choke sensation is so strong that I can't speak and hold it. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a real contraction, a real restriction at the throat. We're compressing the thyroid gland there. You're inhaling small sips of air through the nose, in and out through the nose. And then you'll change. Pull the belly in and rise up. All the way back to where you started. Pick up the toes, turn on the heels to face the side, bring right foot to left, and arms down by the sides. Breathing is steady, hand controlled. In through the nose, out through the nose. Our second set, exactly the same, but we know where we're going, a little bit more familiar. We can maybe nudge up against our limit. Take an inhale breath, bring the arms overhead. Palms of the hands meet, cross the thumbs. Step the right foot out to the right. So 1 meter between the feet, but more if you are taller. So if you're doing this and feels very small, feels very contracted or claustrophobic, take a slightly bigger step. You can adjust as you go. Pick up the toes, turn on the heels, facing towards the short edge of your mat over on your right. Bring your left hip around. And whether that is bouncing the hip or taking the right foot across to the right slightly is up to you. Inhale, you'll lengthen up. Exhale, press the palms of the hands together as you roll in, as if you were diving off the high board into a cool pool of water in slow motion. You roll the body down. The forehead comes to contact with the knee, maybe by bending the knee up as much as you need to. The hands are reaching, stretching out in front, biceps with the ears, or fingertips on the mat separated for balance. You've got forehead against the knee. You're going to begin to drive the knee back in space, as if you were trying to push the knee back and therefore lift up the right hip. And then you'll change. Pull the belly in, rise back up to the top, pulling the belly in, rolling your way all the way to the top. Pick up the toes, turn on the heels to the side. Pick up the toes, turn on the heels, facing towards the left-hand side of the short edge of your mat. Your right hip coming around, 2 hips pointing straight ahead. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, tuck the chin, begin to round. Roll your way in, diving off that high board, pulling the belly away from the thigh, all the way down until you bend into your left knee and get the forehead against the knee. Forehead against the knee, driving the knee back in space, as if you were trying to push the left knee back, and therefore, just coincidentally, just what happens next, because the body's all connected, the left hip would begin to lift, leveling out the back of the hips. And then you'll change. Pull the belly in and rise to the top. So rising to the top with no wobble. Pick up the toes, turn on the heels to face the side, bring right foot to left, arms down by the sides, breath steady in through the nose, out through the nose. So our final shape in this series, final shape in the standing series, is tree pose. Our tree pose gives us 2 sets to play around with a different variation of the shape. In this first set, we just work on finding and settling the body into that final standing balance, that real grounding shape in a tree. So left leg firms up, engaging through the left quadricep, feeling the sensation of all the muscles hugging into the bone. You'll reach down with the left hand and bring the right foot up and into the appropriate place for you to begin your tree pose. And it might be that that is a kind of bound tree pose with the front of the foot against the front of the top of the foot, against the front of the thigh, the sole of the foot facing up towards the ceiling, and the right knee dropping down and away. If all of this is too constricted or inachievable, inaccessible, uncomfortable, don't forget you've got variations in tree. The foot can be on the inseam of the leg at any point down the leg, big toe on the floor, heel against the ankle is still tree pose. You've still got the body weight through one leg, you're still opening externally through the hip. So you find the version of tree pose that makes most sense in your body at this point. Soften the knee down and away. Find a pull in of the belly and a slight tuck underneath of the tailbone. And imagine through your left foot, you are driving the floor away. Like a jet-propelled rocket ready for takeoff, that foot pushes the floor away, as if you would begin to just slightly hover, standing up tall. Right hand finds heart center. Shoulders are soft away from the ears. The breath is steady. Beautiful. We'll change. Release the right sole of the foot gently to the floor, feeling the blood rush back into the right knee, the right ankle. Exactly the same thing on the other side. So really settled. So find it and then see if you can drop into it. Right hand reaches down, bringing the left foot up and into the appropriate place for you. So wherever that might feel like, inseam of the leg, or coming up into that sort of more bound variation with the left knee dropping down and away. What we're after in the long term with that left knee is 2 knees in one line from the side and from the front. So that's the sensation, dropping it down, but not at the expense of letting the body come forwards. You're imagining that foot powers into the floor, bringing you up to an upright position, left hand at heart center. Settle. Lovely, let's change. Release the left sole of the foot to the floor. Taking your time, finding yourself back on 2 feet. Second set of tree. Maybe you work straight back into tree and drop yourself into some stillness, or maybe you're starting to play with the idea of toe stand. So we'll find our footing nice and steady. Reaching down with the left hand, we'll bring the right foot up and into position on the front of the thigh or the inseam of the leg. If you're working on the inseam of the leg, you're going to maintain tree pose. If you're working on the front of the thigh, you might begin to play with toe stand. I can just show you from the side here what I mean. We've got a tendency when we're off balance to stick the bum out and let the body hinge forwards. See if you can tuck the tailbone underneath you, stand up taller. If you're coming into toe stand, you might choose to bring both hands to heart center as long as the foot doesn't slip. And then from there, you could begin to look at the top edge of your own mat and start to dive the body down over the leg. The standing leg is going to stay straight all the way down until the fingertips touch the floor. And when the fingertips touch the floor, they kind of catch up your body weight so you can sit the body down, hips to heel. Once you've sat the body down, hips to heel, this is the bit where I fall apart, you're going to walk the fingertips around beside the waist, to keep the body upright as best you can. Shoulders are away from the ears. Maybe you can bring one hand to heart center, the other hand to join it. Maybe you can squeeze the glutes and hover a little bit off your heel. If you're down in toe stand, we're going to reverse out by bringing the hands forwards in space, letting them catch the body weight as we stand on a straight standing leg. And then as best you can, you'll rise back up the exact same way you came down, and we'll release. Right sole of the foot to the floor, wherever you are. Right sole of the foot comes back to find the floor, you're steady on 2 feet. Second side, Final step, reaching down with the right hand, the left foot comes up and into position on the front of the thigh. You find your appropriate version of tree pose. Maybe you just settle into tree. Maybe this is where you're going to stay, finding your point of focus, your drishti, your gaze. Perhaps you're moving into toe stand. And if you're moving into toe stand, you're welcome to bring two hands together, but you don't have to. You can move into toe stand with the hand supporting the foot the whole time. Hinge at the hips, bring the body down. Fingertips find the floor. And then from fingertips finding the floor, let your body weight tip into the fingers so you can bend your standing leg. Let the heel of the standing leg foot heel away from the mat, sit hips to heel. Sit hips to heel and then walk the hands around beside the waist. Feel the pull in of the belly, sit up as tall as you can. Maybe right hand to heart center, left hand to join it. Pulling the belly in, squeezing the glutes. You might hover an inch off the heel if you're in toe stand. If you're in toe stand, come back the way you went in, change and bring yourself gently to the top. And at the top, we'll all release. We'll release the left sole of the foot down to the ground, feeling 2 feet solidly planted on the floor. Take a moment here if you need it. Honor your standing series. Turn around and lay yourself down into your Shavasana. Release the body down into Shavasana, taking what you need as you bring yourself down to the mat. Bring yourself down to the floor, and then you're looking to find that familiar alignment. 2 heels together, toes rolling open, palms of the hands face the ceiling just a little bit away from the body. The chin is slightly tucked, keeping the back of the neck long. A steady, steady breath. The time you spend here is almost time you spend imprinting the body into this still shape, so that as we move through the practice and come back to this still shape again and again and again, it's easier to drop into. It is here. You know how it feels. You can let the body release into it. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way into our floor series, starting with Pavana or wind removing pose. You're going to draw your right knee up and into your chest. Right knee comes up and into the chest. You're interlacing all 10 fingers over the front of the shin, just below the kneecap, and drawing the knee out and around the body, as if the right knee were drawing down in towards the right armpit. The elbows are hugging down towards the mat. The shoulders draw down towards the floor, and you're really pulling here. The biceps are bulging. The back of the neck is pressed into the floor, looking down the length of the body. The left toes might be flexed to help engage the left side of the body with the mat. Squeeze the knee in. And then change. Release the right leg long. Draw the left knee up and into the chest. All 10 fingers interlaced. Find that grip just on the front of the shin. The left knee comes out and around the body, in and down towards the left armpit. Shoulders draw down towards the floor, elbows draw down towards the floor. The back of the right leg is engaged with the mat as you squeeze the knee in and down. You're going to pull here, biceps bulging, and freeze. Change, release the left leg long. When the left leg touches down, draw both knees up and into the chest. Reach up, give yourself a big hug. Catching hold maybe here of opposite elbows over the knees. If you can't catch opposite elbows, you're working at the forearms, the hands, the wrists, whatever else is available. The feet sit neatly side by side. The feet are quite relaxed here, but you're squeezing the knees in, looking down the length of the body at the diamond shape that you're creating between the forearms and the knees. Pull the knees in and down, draw the shoulders towards the floor. Change, release both legs long, drop yourself back into stillness. Heels touch, toes roll open. Palms of the hands face the ceiling, chin slightly tucked. Back into that stillness, back into that familiar softness. Let the body go. And then when you're ready, we make our way into second set. Pavana Muktasana, wind removing, draw the right knee up and into the chest. All 10 fingers interlaced, shin over the front of the shin, draw the knee out and around. Squeeze it in and down towards the armpit. You're pulling the knee in and down towards the body. The biceps are active. The entire back body presses down into the floor. You're not rolling over to the side. You're looking down the length of the body. The chin is slightly tucked. And then we'll change. Release the right leg long. Draw the left knee up and into the chest. Find your grip. Squeeze the knee in and down, out and around. And what I mean by that is You're putting pressure against the hip joint. There is a slight compression or pinching sensation there, but you're not pressing the knee into the body, into the chest, into the belly. Squeeze the knee in and down, shoulders drawing down towards the floor. And then you'll change. Release left leg long. Draw both knees up and into the chest, reach up, catch hold, opposite elbows. If you can remember, switch for your opposite elbow this time. If you can't remember what you had last time, don't worry about it. Squeeze the knees in and down towards the chest. And the sensation that you might try and tap into this time is the idea that you're pressing the entire spine down into the floor, the back of the neck, lengthening the tailbone away from you, pressing the lower back even into the floor. And then we'll change. Release both legs long, find your way back to stillness. Heels touch, toes roll open, palms of the hands face the ceiling. Breath steady. From here we make our way into our spine strengthening series. So we get there with our very first sit-up. You're going to flex the toes hard back towards your face. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Crossing the thumbs, you're going to butterfly the fingers, spread them out wide. Pull the belly down towards the floor. And as you exhale, it is a double exhale breath, a double bounce as you reach for the toes. It looks like this. From here, we'll turn around and find our way onto our belly. Bringing yourself down onto your stomach. Hands are underneath the shoulders, all 5 fingers of each hand are together. The legs are zipped together and the tops of the feet press down into the floor as we set up for cobra. The elbows draw down the sides of the body as if they were trying to reach down and touch the tops of the hips. The shoulders are rolled away from the ears. When you lift up, there is no weight in the hands. So you're going to activate through the legs, squeeze the glutes, push the hips down, and rise up on an inhale breath, lengthening the spine away from the mat, but not pressing down with the hands. You're lifting using your lower back strength entirely here. You're going to look up and lift up, rise up. Change, release the body down, lower the body to the mat, turn the head to the right, left ear is on the floor, arms are down by the sides. The entire body relaxes, which means the heels roll away from one another. And then we go for second set. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, all 5 fingers of each hand together. Fingertips are in line with the deltoid muscle at the top of the shoulder. And if you're struggling to work out what that alignment really means, if you let your shoulders drop forwards, you want them to just cover the tips of your fingers. The elbows hug back as if they were trying to squeeze in towards the sides of the ribcage. Activate through your legs. Squeeze your glutes. Inhale, rise up. Away from the floor, lengthening the spine up towards the ceiling as if you were being peeled up 1 vertebrae at a time. You're going to look up, lift up, and get 1 more sticky rib off the mat. Change. Release the body down. Lower the body down, arms by your sides, palms of the hands face the ceiling, turn the head to the left, right ear is on the towel. Whole body relaxes, heels drop into softness. The second shape in our spine strengthening series is our half locust with our very specific grip. So you're going to flip the palms of the hands over so they face down onto the mat or towel that you're working on. And then from there, you'll rock and roll the hips to bring the hands underneath the body. If you've got elbows that still have a bend in them and they are not touching down on the floor, the hands will tuck under the front of the hips, the front of the thumbs. If you've got elbows that go completely flat down into the mat, you'll bring the hands underneath the body, trying to tuck the elbows underneath the body as well. Whichever version of the shape you're in, the palms of the hands press down into the floor, the fingertips can grip the mat completely. Very nice. Find that alignment. The chin is slightly outstretched, the throat is long along the mat. You're going to relax the left leg completely, activate the right leg, point the right toes to the back of the room, and go for it. Lift the right leg up and away. 45 degrees between the right leg and the floor. As you lift here, you're stretching the right toes up and back, lifting the right leg as if it were one piece. There's no bend in the knee. Lift the leg. Change. Release the right leg down. Relax the right leg completely. Let it go. Relax it, switch it off from the hip to the toes. Activate the left leg. Feel the kneecap engage, feel the toes point towards the back of the room, and go for it. Left leg comes up and away from the floor. The right leg isn't helping you lift. The right leg is still relaxed. You're going to point the left toes, lift the left leg. 45 degrees, no bend in the knee. Change. Release the left leg down. Relax the left leg completely. Beautiful work. Very nice. From here, we make some adjustments. So you might choose to bring the hands a little bit closer towards one another. Maybe you're reaching the hands a little bit further down the body. Whatever adjustments you're making, you're strengthening up your lever. Most importantly, you're going to tuck the chin and bring the lips to press down to the mat or the towel that you're working on. Zip the legs together. Feel the legs engage. Take a big breath and go for it. Both legs lifting up at once. Both legs lifting up and away from the floor as you push the hands down with everything you've got. You're going to grip them out with the fingertips. Beautiful. Lift the legs a little higher. You're going to press the hands down, press the shoulders down, lift higher, and then release, let it go. Let the legs drop to the floor, gently, kindly release the hands from underneath the body, releasing that tourniquet at the elbows. Let the arms relax, let the legs relax, turn the head to the right, the left ear is on the towel. Second set is exactly the same. We'll work through all three parts. Flip the palms of the hands over, bring the hands into position underneath the body. And remembering that if you've got elbows that go flat, they're coming right underneath the body. If there's a bend in the elbows, you're just tucking the hands and focusing on that for now. You don't want any pain through the elbows. There might be some slight discomfort because it's an unusual position to be in, but there's no sharp pain in the elbow. Firm up through the hands, chin slightly outstretched, throat long, relax the left leg, activate the right toes and go for it. Lift the right leg up and away from the floor. You lift the leg long, stretching it not only away from the floor, but up towards the back of the room as if you were trying to lengthen through the leg. Lift, change, release the leg down. Very nice. Relax the right leg completely. Let it go, switch it off. Activate the left leg. So reach the toes to the back of the rim first. Feel the kneecap lift. And then go for it. Lift the left leg up and away from the floor. Stretch the leg up and back. The hip point stays down on the forearm, the floor, or the wrist. Lengthen the left leg up and back. Stretch, change. Release the left leg down. Adjust here. So you know we're going into that third and final part, the legs lifting at the same time. You might adjust the hands so they are closer together, little finger sides of the hands touching. You might adjust the hands so they're further down the body so you've got more grip against the floor. Most importantly, you're going to tuck the chin, protect the back of the neck, keep the head in this position with the lips pressed down against the mat or the towel. Zip the legs together. Take a big determined inhale breath and go for it. Legs up and away from the mat at the same time. Push the mat away with your hands. Drive the hands down into the floor. As the legs come up and away from the mat, you're going to lift the kneecaps an inch higher. You're going to lift the thighs an inch higher. You're going to lift higher, struggle harder. Change. Release the body down. Let it go. Drop it into the floor. Release the hands from underneath the body. Turn the head to the left, your right ear on the towel. Release the body down into the mat. The third shape in our spine strengthening series is our airplane pose or our full locust. And to get to it, we're going to bring the arms out wide. So if you've got lots of space, you're going to fly the arms out wide, hands in line with the shoulders, fingertips all together. If you're a bit tight on space, or if you're practicing at home, and I say this quite a lot, don't fancy putting your hand under that dusty piece of furniture, you're going to fly the arms back alongside the body, all 5 fingers together like a torpedo. Whichever version of this shape you're in, the shoulders are away from the ears, so you're drawing the shoulders down the back. Activate through both legs. Zip the legs together, feel the kneecaps lift. Big inhale breath as you rise up and away from the floor. Upper body lifting, lower body lifting at the same time. Imagine one day balancing just on the points of your hips. You're going to fly the body up and away from the mat, fingertips coming up in line with the crown of the head. As you lift up and away from the floor, you're going to look up, lift up, lift up. Change, release the body down. Beautiful work. Turn the head to the right. The left ear is on the towel. The whole body is relaxed. Let it all go. And then we'll go into second set, bringing the hands into position, flying them either out wide in line with the shoulders, or if you're tight on space like me, back behind the body like a torpedo, as wide as you can bring them. Zip the legs together, press the tops of the feet down into the floor to feel the kneecaps engaged. You're going to keep that switched on the entire time. Squeeze through the glutes, take an inhale breath, and you'll rise up. Legs lifting away from the floor as the upper body lifts away from the floor. Fingertips coming up in line with the crown of the head. One day, just the hip points balancing on the mat as you look up, lift up, take off, change, release the body down, lowering to the mat, Turning the head to the left, right ear is on the towel, whole body relax, let it go. Final shape in our spine strengthening series is floor bow. And we've got options with floor bow because we're doing 2 sets. If you can, you're going to kick both heels towards your bum, reach back and catch hold of the outside edges of the feet, all 5 fingers together. Once you've got that grip, you're thinking about squeezing the knees together, bringing the feet closer together. If you want to, however, you're welcome to work with just one leg at a time. If you're working with one leg at a time, the leg that you are not using is extended long, the arm that you are not using comes up in front of the body, the forearm presses down into the mat to help you with a lift in the chest when you kick. Wherever you are set up, squeeze your knees together. Find a big determined breath, roll shoulders away from the ears and go for it. Kick into the hands. Kick into the hands to draw the chest up and away from the floor to let the shoulders roll back. Kick into the hands to lift the kneecaps off the mat, to lift the thighs a little higher. You're going to look up and kick. Drive the feet and kick. Kick harder. Change. Release the body down. Release the grip. Let the legs release long. Turn the head to the right, your left ear on the towel. Second set. Maybe switching for the opposite leg if you're working one leg at a time, or kicking both heels up towards your bum. You'll catch hold of your foot or your feet. Squeeze your knees in together. Let the shoulders roll away from the ears. Take a big, controlled, determined inhale breath and kick. Drive through the feet. See if you can kick the feet towards the back of the space you're working in as hard as you possibly can, feeling that lift in the chest, that draw back of the shoulders, the hands just hanging on in there as the feet power the pose. When you can't kick back any harder, roll more weight forwards onto your belly and start to kick up. Drive the toes up higher. Kick left toes higher, right toes higher. Change. Release the body down. Beautiful work. Turn the head to the left, right ear on the towel. Whole body soft. And then we'll move on from here. So bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and pushing the floor away, we'll meet in a kneeling position, coming into fixed firm pose, which is our first kneeling shake. In the interest of not keeping you miles beyond the end of the practice, we're going to do 1 set of fixed firm. And the reason I've chosen to do 1 set of fixed firm here is because I don't want to rush you into and out of it. I'd rather give you a proper time in it and just do 1 set than hurry through 2 sets and then end up finishing late. So we'll bring the hands out in front. Knees are together, feet are fanning out behind you, and the feet are coming out until they are hip width distance apart, which is hard to judge, so adjust it as you go. Walk yourself back, supported with the hands, until the hips are able to sit down between the heels. The hips might touch the floor, they might not. If the hips don't touch the floor, fingertips or knuckles stay on the mat and you'll keep the body upright, lifted, here with me. If the hips do touch down and there is no sharp pain in the knees, no discomfort in the knees, the heels brush the outside edges of the hips, the toes point back towards the back of the room, then you're welcome to begin to lower back. The hands on the feet, you'll go elbow by elbow. Release the body down behind you. The crown of the head finds the floor. The back of the head finds the floor. The shoulder girdle touches down. You bring the arms up and overhead, creating that box shape by grabbing hold of opposite elbows. If you're upright and this posture proves a challenge, don't forget you can really push the floor away and get a bit of a lift from the body, or you can bring the hands in front of you, take a little bit of pressure off the knees. If you lowered back, come up and join us carefully. Hands on the feet, press the elbows into the mat. Rise up with care, try not to let the knees bounce around as you bring yourself up to the top. Beautiful work. Release off the knees. We'll turn around and lay ourselves down onto our back into Savasana. Release the body down into the floor, let it all go. So from here, we make our way into a restorative shape, practice twice. Ardha Kamasana, it's half tortoise, and it's to set us up for the rest of the practice. So we'll flex the toes back towards the face, inhale the arms overhead, cross the thumbs, butterfly the fingers wide, and go for it, sit up. Shh. Shh. Turning around, we'll meet in a kneeling position, sitting hips to heels. Find yourself here and inhale the arms up and overhead. You've got a straight spine and the palms of the hands are coming together and the thumbs are crossing over. Again, like we were when we were standing, you're resisting as best you can the temptation to interlace the fingers. Palms of the hands pressed together. Use an inhale breath to lengthen through the body. Exhale, you'll draw the belly in and begin to hinge at the hips as best you can, keeping the biceps beside the ears as you bring the body down. The little finger side of the hands finds the floor, the forehead finds the mat, the tip of the nose finds the mat. So the back of the neck is long. The hips are reaching back towards the heels as the fingertips stretch out towards the front of the mat. The wrist is lifted. The middle fingernail shoots forwards towards the front of the mat, as if you were finding a sense of traction all the way down your own spine. And then we'll change. Pull the belly in and rise up. Arms with the ears all the way to the top. Exactly the same way you went in. Exhale the arms down by the sides. Turn around and release yourself down onto your back into your Savasana. Quickly, carefully, efficiently bringing the body to the floor so that you can really let it drop into stillness, even in just a couple of breaths. Our second set, half tortoise. Inhale the arms overhead, cross thumbs, flex fingers, pull the belly down, flexing the toes. You're going to make your way up and over. Sit up, double exhale, double bounce. Turn around and find your way onto your knees. So exactly the same setup. We're sitting hips to heels. We're thinking about that kind of imaginary wall pressed right up behind the back of the body, body upright. When you're ready, inhale the arms up overhead, palms of the hands pressed together, thumbs crossing over, extending up through the fingertips. And as you extend up through the fingertips, doing your best not to lean right back, instead keeping the body upright, biceps with the ears, pull the belly in and use all of that power coming from the belly to bring the body down. Bringing the body down, maybe one day so much control from the belly that the forehead could touch down before the fingertips do. The tip of the nose touches the floor, keeping the neck nice and long. The middle fingernail shoots out in front of you. The wrists of the hands are lifted because of the pressure that the little finger side of the hand is putting down into the floor as you stretch the fingertips forwards, as you pull the hips back. And then we'll change. Pull the belly in, anchor the hips to the heels and rise up. Exactly the same way you went down, you bring the body to the top. Exhale, arms down by the sides, turn around and release the body down into your Savasana. Carefully, quickly, efficiently laying the body down into the floor. Lovely work, really nice. So from here we make our way into camel. Ustrasana is our deepest back bend of the practice. It's a posture that we, again, spend a little bit of time in the setup so that we can move from a place of strength. When you're ready, inhale the arms overhead, cross thumbs, flex fingers and go for it. Up and over, double exhale, double bounce. Feel the belly drawn down towards the floor as you sit up. Beautiful work. Turn around and we'll meet kneeling. This time we're standing up on the knees and there is a 6-inch gap between the kneecaps. And if you want to check on that, 2 of your own fists between the kneecaps will get you a really good alignment. If you're not working in front of a mirror, or just if it's interesting, look back at your feet. So just check that the feet aren't out wide to the sides, not pointing in towards one another. Instead, they are absolutely train track parallel, invisible behind your knee. From here, the hands come onto the lower back, the fingertips point down towards your bum. And I want you to imagine I've put a beach ball between your elbows and pulled the plug out of it. You're going to squeeze the air out of that beach ball with your elbows. It's your job to compress it down to almost nothing. Keep squeezing the elbows back. You'll feel that press the hips forwards. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips forwards. Inhale to lengthen the skin of the front body. Exhale, let the head drop back. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you stay here and breathe here. Maybe you've got more. Maybe you keep pressing the hips forwards in space, keep wrapping the elbows back as the head drops back. Maybe you can see the back of the room. If you can see the wall behind you, the space behind you, you're welcome to go and find that grip. The grip that you're after is fingers on the inside, thumb on the outside of the heel of the foot, arching the body back. Keep arching the body back as you look back. Lengthen the skin of the front body. Breathing the whole time. When you're ready to change, the hands come onto the lower back, and you bring yourself with support up to the top. Turn around, take a breath, release yourself down into your Shavasana. Lay the body down into the floor. It is totally normal if you feel dizzy or overwhelmed, or nauseous. It is also totally normal if you don't feel any of those things. Wherever you are at in your practice at this point, just a couple of steady breaths. And then from here, we'll make our way into second set of camel. Inhale the arms overhead, cross thumbs. Pull the belly button down towards the spine. And as you sit up, keep the belly switched on. You're coming up and over. Shh, shh. Yes, lovely, very nice. Turn around and find your way onto your knees. Again, you're welcome to check all your points here. You don't have to assume that just because you've been here before, you can drop straight into it. You're welcome to put two of your own fists between the knees, check on that. You can have a look back, check at your feet. Hands come onto the lower back. Find that activation, hugging in through the elbows. And as the elbows really squeeze in, imagine you're pressing something between the elbows. You'll notice the hips press forwards in space. Squeeze the glutes, let that happen. Let the length happen with the inhale breath up through the front of the body. Exhale, you're going to let the head drop back. You're going to look back to the space behind you. You're going to feel the length through the front of the body as you arch the body back. You can see, if you can see the space behind you, you're welcome to go in and find that grip. If you're unsure of the grip, you are welcome to try it. There's nothing wrong with going in, seeing if it's there, and if it's not, coming back. Hands on your lower back, supporting you as you arch back, way back. Keep breathing. And then you'll change. Hands on the lower back will bring you all the way to the top with total support. Take a breath if you need it. Turn around and lay yourself down onto your back. Release yourself down onto the floor. Let it all go. From here, we make our way into the counter pose for camel, which is rabbit or sasangasana. It's our deepest forward bend of the series. And we're going to take an inhale, bring the arms up and overhead, cross thumbs, flex fingers, pull the belly down and go for it. Strong from your core, up and over. Turn around and we'll meet kneeling. Sitting hips to heels. And if you're working with a towel, you might flip the corners of your towel up and over your heels. I don't have one to demonstrate with. If you don't have a towel, don't worry. You probably aren't, your grip probably isn't slippy enough that it's going to cause you any problems. So find yourself seated on your heels. The grip that we're after on the heels is as though you were working with breaststroke arms. If you're swimming with breaststroke arms, the fingertips come out, round and back. And they're on the inside of the heels. The thumb is on the outside of the heel. When you sit upright, don't worry if that grip loosens off. You get a chance to strengthen it up here as we go. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, tuck the chin round in. Roll your way all the way down the spine. Articulating through the back body until the crown of the head finds the floor, the forehead against the knee. So you're really looking in at the belly button, really finding that contraction, that tuck in at the chin. Rolling your way down until crown of the head is on the floor, forehead against the knees. Strengthen up your grip. Strengthen up your grip and pull. Pull against the heels as you lift the hips up and forwards, away from the heels, tucking the body in like a neat little human wheel. If the forehead is miles away from the knees, you might walk the knees towards the forehead one at a time. The head never moves. You're pulling on the heels to lift the hips up and away, tucking yourself in. And then you'll change. Hands against the heels the whole time, pulling on the grip as you bring yourself up to the top. Breath steady, you'll turn around and release yourself down onto your back, carefully, efficiently bringing yourself down into Shavasana. Lay the body into the floor. When you're ready, into second set, inhale the arms overhead, cross thumbs, flex fingers, flex toes, pull the belly down and go for it, up and over. Turning around, we'll meet on our knees. Sitting hips to heels. Lovely, really nice. Find your grip, fingertips on the inside, thumb on the outside of the heels, the body upright. As best you can, The shoulders draw down the back, away from the ears. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale to begin that roll through the spine. Look for the belly button. Roll through the back body. Articulate the whole spine as you bring yourself down. Crown of the head to the floor, forehead to the knees, and then strengthen up your grip. Pull against the heels to lift the hips up and forwards, tucking yourself in. You want to be able to bring yourself here to a position where the arms are straight. When the arms are straight, this posture begins to make a lot more sense. So if you can find that straight position through the arms, you can really anchor hands against the heels and keep drawing the hips up and forwards. Very little weight in the crown of the head. You're going to draw forwards and then change. Hips coming back to the heels, unroll yourself to the top. Turn around and lay yourself down onto your back into your savasana. Release the body down. Drop yourself into stillness. Finding this stillness so familiar, so fast, that even just a couple of breaths can kind of send that ease, that release through the whole body. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Cross thumbs, flex fingers, flex toes. Pull the belly down and you're going to go for it. Up and over, double exhale, double bounce as we make our way into the final 2 shapes and final breathing exercise of our practice. Take a quarter turn if you need to. Take any kind of a turn that you need to based on how you're set up. So you can outstretch both legs. Again, similar to when we were in fixed firm, we're going to do 1 set of our separate leg stretching because I'd rather do 1 set and give you time than hurry you through 2 sets and give you no time. So I want to make sure you're not overrunning too much, but also I don't want to hurry you through shapes which are really useful. We'll keep the right leg extended and fold the left foot in. Left sole of the foot onto the inseam of the thigh. The right leg outstretched in front of you. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Interlacing all 10 fingers, including the thumb. Find length in the sides of the waist, and as you exhale, turn the body towards the outstretched leg. Roll your way down over it. Bending the knee as much as you need to get the forehead to find the knee. So that's your priority initially. Bend the knee so the forehead touches the knee. Once the forehead is in contact with the knee, you might think about releasing through the left shoulder, rolling the body a little bit more into the center line. And perhaps you can push the forehead against the knee as you think about driving the right heel out and away from you. But this is a compression pose before it is a stretching pose. So you're really focused on finding that throat choke sensation, forehead against knee, drawing the body forwards. And then we'll change. Inhale to rise to the top, switch the legs over. Right leg coming in, left leg extending out. Sole of the foot, toes are flexed as you turn towards your outstretched leg and roll your way down over it. Again, all 10 fingers interlace underneath the sole of the foot and the forehead finds the knee. And if that means bending the knee a lot, that is fine. Bend the knee as much as you need to get the forehead in contact. Releasing through the right shoulder maybe. And maybe thinking about beginning to press through the knee so the left heel starts to extend out and away from you as you draw the body forwards and down. And then you'll change. Draw yourself back up to the top. Being very careful about what might be behind you, extend both legs and butterfly the hands. Release the body down onto the floor. Inhale as soon as you touch down. Exhale, you're going to sit up and over. Bend your knees. Bend your knees even if you know that you usually get to straight legs with this shape because it's part of the setup. You're going to take your first and middle finger, your peace sign, make a hook and wrap it around your big toe. Thumb can come over the top to stop the grip slipping and you walk the hips back. Shuffle them back, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. As many times as you need to, maybe 10, 15 times until you feel like you are sitting up on the sit bones and the legs are at their maximum extension. Whatever that might be for you today, doesn't have to be straight. Take an inhale breath to lift through the chest, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, begin to draw the body forwards over the leg. You're coming forwards and down. Down is just a side effect of coming forwards. So if you really prioritize bringing the body down over the legs, this is what's going to happen. You'll round in. Instead, what we're looking for is that sensation of the chest bursting forwards. The nose reaching out towards the big toes, the body long over the legs, a long, straight spine. The elbows coming down either side of the front calf muscles as you draw the body forwards, forwards, forwards and down. Change, release your grip. Turn around and lay yourself down onto your back, into your shavasana. Let the body release down into the floor. From here, we make our way into the final shape of our practice, which is our spinal twist, wringing out the body from the top to the bottom. Inhale the arms overhead, cross thumbs. Flex fingers, pull the belly down, and go for it. Up and over. Very nice. Take your quarter turn if that's what you're working with, or if you don't need to adjust yourself, you can stay where you are. And we're going to begin by bringing the left leg in underneath, the right leg up and over the top. The right heel is across the top corner of the left knee. And don't forget, if this folded up version of the bottom leg is too constricted, too tight for you, you can always work with the bottom leg outstretched instead. Wherever you are, you're not sitting on the foot, two sit bones on the floor. Right hand to act as your support. Inhale the left arm high. Exhale, you'll rotate through the body, left elbow hooking over and across the right knee. You've got choices with the hands here. You might be able to reach down, tucking the top knee out of the way to grab the bottom knee. You might want to wrap the back hand around behind you if you don't need it to act as your support. But neither of those things are happening at the expense of that turn in the body. So the priority is the breath. Can you inhale to lift and lengthen? Can you exhale to rotate in the body? And then we'll change, bringing yourself back through to center. We'll switch the legs over. So your right leg is coming in underneath. Your left leg is crossing over the top. Left heel finds the floor, so you're not letting the leg sag. The whole foot is firmly planted into the floor, and you're not sitting on the right foot either. Sit bones are down on the floor. Left hand behind you to act as your support. Inhale the right arm high, lift and lengthen. Exhale to cross it over, right elbow across the left knee. And again, you've got those choices you can make with what you get up to with the hands, but your priority is the breath. Use your inhale to make space. Use your exhale to turn into that space. And then we'll change. Draw yourself back through to center. Untangle the legs, untangle the arms. Lay yourself down onto your back. Release the body into the floor. We finished the practice with our Kapalabhati breathing, our blowing in firm pose. And we'll get to that with our final sit-up, our strongest sit-up of the practice. Flex the toes, feel the legs engaged. Draw the belly down to the spine. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Cross thumbs, flex fingers, pull the belly down and go for it, up and over. Turning, we'll meet in a kneeling position. If kneeling is uncomfortable, inaccessible for you, you're more than welcome to practice this breathing exercise cross-legged instead. If you're kneeling, the hands are palms face down on the knees with the arms outstretched, but the arms aren't rigid, they don't need to be locked out, rock solid, the arms just want to be straight. If you're cross-legged, same position, but it's probably the wrist that makes contact with the knees. You're using the arms as a feedback loop to let you know that the chest is still. It's very hard for the shoulders to shrug along with the breath if the arms stay straight. This is a breath that comes from the belly. It is a forceful exhale snapped out through the mouth. And the inhale is just going to happen automatically. You'll find yourself not worrying about breathing in, it's just going to happen. We'll do 2 sets, one slightly slower, another one will pick up the pace. So we begin with a relaxed belly and a big inhale through the nose. And then we go. 3, 2, 1, let it go. Lick the lips, swallow a couple of times, whatever you need here in between. Our next set is shorter, sharper, punchier. We work a faster breath. Bring it up to the rhythm that makes sense for you. We'll relax the belly and take an inhale through the nose. And then we go. 3, 2, 1, let it go. Let it go completely. Take what you need, turn around, release yourself down into your Shavasana. Lay the body down into the floor. Allow yourself to find the mat. Let the body soften and release. And as you bring yourself back into this familiar stillness, you let the heels come together, the toes roll open. The palms of the hands perhaps are going to face the ceiling, just a little bit away from the body. The back of the neck is relaxed. And you'll do your best to scan through the body here, looking for last pockets of tension that you might be able to release. Can you release at your knees? Can you release your belly and your lower back? Is there more softness to be had around your shoulders and your chest? Can you release your face? Forehead? Your jaw? You could choose to stay here a little longer. When you are ready to move, gently roll yourself onto one side and bring yourself kindly up to sit. If you want to seal your practice, maybe that makes sense to you, bringing the hands together, bowing the head to the wisdom of the heart, or anything else that makes sense. Thank you so much, guys. It was an absolute pleasure to practice with you all this morning.